Hello, hello, hello. Today I want to speak about how to increase your sales on Amazon. And this is the most asked question from everyone, from clients to people who want to start selling to people who already sell. Everyone wants to increase their sales. But how do we do it? Now we're going to find out in this video. So who am I? My name is Yanni. I'm a seven-figure e-commerce seller. We've sold on all the platforms and we've done over 5 million pounds in sales. So in dollars, that's probably like 6 million. We also have a full-service Amazon agency called eCommerce, where we do all the listing creation, all the images, all the Amazon ads, all the fun stuff that has to do with Amazon selling. We work with a little bit over 20 brands and it's a lot of fun. So let's get into the video. How to increase your sales on Amazon. So I'm going to presume that you already have a product and you already know that that product has some sales potential. You've seen competitors doing X amount of sales, so it's possible to sell it. It's not an undiscovered, untapped market. So how to increase the sales? First, the first thing I'm always going to look at is the listing. When we talk about listing, let's start with the first thing. Image. The main image and the hero image. Main image or hero image, you can call it both ways. Basically, in the main image, I want to make sure that all the details are there. And let's take an example, creatine gummies. I see creatine gummies everywhere. They're all the craze now. So if it's creatine gummies and you have 60 gummies inside, if it's a main image, what I want to see is the amount on the bottle, what the creatine gummies do, and ideally a little label saying 60 gummies. Just make it as high quality image as possible, as catchy as possible, and a nice color. Blue is a great color, usually that works. Black usually tend to work. Red sometimes works, but stick with those basic colors. So main image as high quality as possible. This is what people get intrigued and see at the first. When people are scrolling through Amazon and trying to buy a product, they see your main image. So that is super attractive. Make it as attractive as possible so it makes them click. Remember, there's a lot of competition, so I need to be as creative as possible. And I will also test different main images. So one with the label, one without. A/B testing is super important, but first get the good main image. Second, all the other images, then you need to make sure they're telling you a story, why they should buy your product. What is the difference between your product and other products? So first image is the hero image, but all the other images should tell what the product does, what it contains, and why you should buy it. And ideally, you want to have a video as well. For creatine gummies, a video probably opening the bottle, showing the product, trying the product, and how the product looks. For something like workout equipment, you can of course show someone who's working out. After you've sorted out the main image, all the other images, and the video, I want you to concentrate on the title. And I see a lot of issues with title nowadays. People put all the keywords and they're so random and they don't make any sense. For a title, make sure it makes sense. It's not super long. You want it to be at maximum 200 characters. More than that, Amazon doesn't like it, and soon they're not even going to allow it. So make sure about 200, even less than 200 to be honest. And more importantly than the length is the keywords. Have 3 to 5 of the most important keywords. It's no point to put the random keywords. And that is the issue with titles nowadays. They have too many keywords. A lot of them are not relevant, and your Amazon SEO and your product doesn't look great organically, and you can't really find it organically. So 3 to 5 most important keywords, and then a couple of more keywords with great search volume. You can get all of this data with softwares like DataDive or Helium 10. You can do it manually as well, but it requires a lot more work, and I would definitely suggest using softwares. After you have your title, I would go to the bullet points. Don't overcomplicate them. Short, concise, put them in bold, the beginning part, and explain exactly the top qualities and what your product does. Very short and concise. Don't use emojis. Amazon doesn't allow that anymore. And make it short and concise. At least 5 of them, but the more the better. Just don't make it too long. After that, product description, same. And the bullet point, something I forgot, which is quite stupid, is it has to be rich with keywords. As the title is rich with the top and most relevant keywords, same with the bullet point. It has to be full of relevant and important keywords. After you've done that, product description, same. Describe your product, explain it exactly what it does, short, concise, and rich with keywords. After we finish with the description, go to the A+ content. Now, the A+ content is a great opportunity for you to explain what your product does, but more importantly, why they should buy it. Something that's great you can do in A+ content is, this is my product and these are all the other products. My product has this that is much better than this. Just a comparison chart. Much better. You explain exactly why they should buy it, and the other image is just telling the story of the product and why you should buy it. The whole point of a listing is to convince people to why they should buy it. After you've done the A+ content, that's kind of the listing finished. After we've done the listing, I want to make sure we're price competitive. People tend to miss this. You have to be price competitive. Your top competitors are at $9.99 and you're selling at 16 and you're not even established. It's very difficult to justify that. So be price competitive, especially if you're launching a product. It's ideal to be even a bit lower in price, because if you're at the same price with someone who's established, they usually will get more sales. but put a lower price, your conversion rate will be better, and you do more sales. And then start increasing it. After you know your price competitive, then only then we move to the PPC. Because there's no point to have a bad listing, be on price and competitive, and then do PPC. Because if you do the PPC with all those wrong ingredients, you're going to spend a lot and you're going to lose a lot of money. So once we have all the right ingredients here, we start with PPC. And how would I use PPC and how would I launch PPC? Just as a beginning, I would launch manual campaigns, and I would launch 3 manual campaigns, which will be broad, phrase, exact. 3 to 5 keywords. You don't want to go with too many keywords because the spending tends to get sparse, and a great keyword can be messed up because of it. So 3 to 5 keywords, make sure they're relevant, do your research on Data Dive or Helium 10, make sure they have a lot of search volume and they're the most important keywords. Budget-wise, the more the better, but whatever you're comfortable with. I can tell you £100 each, but if that's not realistic for your budget, do what is realistic. The more the better, of course. Once you've done the manual campaigns, I would go to the auto campaigns, and what we usually do is we do 4 campaigns for auto campaigns. We do close, lose, substitute, and compliments. Yes, 4. I know it sounds a lot, but that's what we do, and that's what's worked very well. After we've done the auto campaigns, we go to product retargeting, and then we start heavily testing. Launching campaigns is just one part. Then you need to start heavily testing and checking. I like to check campaigns daily and make changes every 2 to 4 days, depending on what happens. We only make changes, big changes, for things that are not working well. Things that work well, you don't want to touch them too much. If something is working, don't screw it up. With PPC, there's a lot of nuances we can go through. But one thing I want to mention is the bid. The higher the bid, the better performance, but also you'll spend more. So make sure the bid is competitive. Again, the higher the better, but keep in mind, the higher the bid, if your profit is £5 and your average bid is £5, you're not going to make profit. So put that in mind. But the higher the bid, the more performance you get. If your competitors, their average bid is £1, you want to be at least around that, because if you're not, you'll be underperforming. So if you do this, I guarantee your sales will increase. We've worked with over 20 brands, thousands of listings, and when people have this, it works. Your sales go up. And of course, if your product is good, then sales really go up. But the key is, make sure you have a good product and make sure you follow these steps. If you follow these steps, things will work. Amazon is all about the basics. Stick to the basics and things go well. I see people overcomplicating stuff, and when you overcomplicate stuff and you get removed from the basic, it's an issue. So after you've done all of this, make sure you track all of this. Sales, ads performance, impression, click-through rate, and conversion rate. Those are the 3 metrics you want to go crazy about. Impressions, do I have enough traffic? Are people seeing my product? Click-through rate, are people clicking through it? Am I enticing enough? Once they're in, are they buying? Conversion rate. Track those, be obsessive about those. You improve the impression, you improve the click-through rate, you improve usually the conversion rate. So make sure you're obsessed about them. I hope you like this video. A lot more to come. Stay tuned.